All right, welcome back to episode 3 of HRL 10. Not gonna lie to you, man, today was a tough one to try to figure out where to do it. So I ended up deciding to do it outside. That comes with its challenges too, and I'm gonna show you a little bit around where we're at. We are poolside at my house. So here's the bar, pool, deck, everything we've redone in the last couple of years. There's our barn, which we call Burksville. Way over there's our pontoon that we have not gotten out yet this year. There's our fire pit. There's Dumb, and there's Dumber. And they like to bark at every little thing that moves. So I can't promise you that they won't go out of here screaming one time or another. In case this is your first episode watching, and you don't know me, my name is Burke Smith. Before we get into the episode, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who I am, or how this project really got started. So the HRL 10 project, it's my belief that every human being on the face of this planet wants the same 3 things. And that's to be heard, and to be loved, and to be respected. And for you to take the time to do that with them. So what you do is you just take 10 minutes out of your day, week, month, just some time to find somebody that's different than you. That's the key to this. Somebody that don't think like you, don't work where you work, don't live where you live, doesn't look like you, maybe a different religious belief or whatever. But you hear their story. Why they are the way they are, why they believe the way they believe, why they do what they do. And then you move down to R, which is respect. And then no matter what you hear, whether you like it or not, agree with it or not, believe it or not, go along with it or not, that you're just walking away in respect that that's just them, right? They're just different than you, and that's just how they function in their little place in the world. And then you move down to L, which is love. And love just means, or doesn't mean, that you have to agree with everything that everybody does. That's a big misconception. Love just means that you're acknowledging that you're hearing them, that you're seeing them, that, all right, I'm trying to take some time to understand why you are the way you are. And Lord knows we all have that, right? So today's episode is going to be simply titled, Be Yourself. And trust me, these episodes do just as much for me as they do you as I'm researching them over things I've heard. For me, it's to get out things that I've just kind of held in my whole life. And to my viewers, it's more about just letting you know that somebody out there can relate. Because that's the big thing that we get in our heads in, right? Is that, man, do I just think a whole lot different than other people? And yeah, I'm sure I do. But the people who may be wrestling with the same things that I've wrestled with, it feels good to know that other people that can relate to you. And being yourself and being authentic, and I always like to be real, raw, and honest. That's what this is all about. That is something that I have struggled with my entire life. And it's weird because almost every time that I say that, people look at me and they're like, really? Burke, you seem confident and you seem like you have it all together. And they use words like solid, right? And you're a good dad, and you're a good this, and you're motivational, and you're positive. And some of that's true, right? But there's a lot of times where I just walk around and I'm like, man, I'm just not feeling it today. Whether I'm irritable, whether I'm tired, whether I'm unmotivated. It's another thing you might hear. A lot of sirens. But for me, being that authentic self, or being yourself, or being real, comes with some hazards in your own mind. And that if somebody sees the real version of me, they see it in my head, they like it when I'm positive and motivational and strong and tough and I can do all these things. And so on the days that I'm not those things, it makes me feel like unlovable, right? Or unlikable. And that seems like a very strong word, but it really is simply how I feel. And to put that out there and to have somebody act different because I would be myself. Let's say that I just go out there today and I'm just not feeling myself, so I decide, you know what, today I'm just going to be myself and I'm going to be kind of a bummer. And so, I'm different, and somebody comes up and says, man, what's wrong with you? Not in a bad way. That's what I hear. But that they're saying, man, something's different. In my head, that just acknowledges that there's something wrong with me being myself. So I don't know if you guys wrestle with that, but that is something that I wrestle with. And all that accomplishes is stress and pressure to perform, right? And being a perfectionist. And that's something that I really wrestle with. But I was doing this project one time called the Genesis Process. And it took us, I think it was 12 weeks. We met every week. And I remember some things about that book, but one thing that really stuck out to me was that if what is coming out of your mouth and what you're actually feeling in your heart are two totally different things, that can actually create mental illness. And mental illness sounds like a strong word, but it can. It can create depression. It can create anxiety. And you know how it is. I mean, I was a friend of ours. I'll never forget this either during COVID. They said that they actually enjoyed wearing a mask because they didn't have to go around wearing a fake smile all day. And how many of you guys can relate to that? I know I can. Because you have to perform, right? You have to be a certain way at work. You want to be a certain way around your friends. You want to be a certain way around your family. You want to perform in the world to not be that negative person. And so I just thought that was interesting that, they didn't have to wear a fake smile. And I thought, yeah, man, I can understand that. But, not matching what's coming out of your mouth compared to what's in your heart. I heard this quote from Jim Carrey, and this quote said, the difference between depression and sadness is that sadness is just happenstance. Something that happened to you, something that happened or did not happen for you. It's one of the in the moment things, right? But depression is your body saying, screw you. I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you have created to exist in this world so everybody will like you. And then there was another one from Brene Brown. She's one of my favorite, and it's on perfectionism, right? And being this real person or being this authentic person means you got to let down your perfectionism. And her speech said, perfectionism is nothing but a 20-ton shield that we carry around hoping it will keep us from being hurt. When in truth, what it does is it keeps us from being seen. Man, that's strong, right? So why is it that we can't walk around like a 5-year-old does, let's say? We've got a 5-year-old grandson and a 2-year-old granddaughter, and man, I love it. I love being around them because they cry when they're sad. They laugh when they're happy. They share every thought with you. They're just real. When they come up and give you a hug, it just melts your heart. And they speak the truth. Never to hurt your feelings or anything like that. They just speak the truth. So why can't we all walk around like that? And then another a series that we've been watching is called Love on the Spectrum. And it's about people who are on the spectrum that are just out in the world trying to find love. And they take them out on dates. They do different things with them. They coach with them. They talk with them. And man, nearly every episode that I watch, I get choked up. I just love how those people interact in the world. They're themselves. They are true. They are authentic. If they tell you something, you know it's the truth, right? You know it's real. They will tell you if they don't like you. They will tell you if they don't want to be in that place. They'll tell you if they're tired, if they're sad, if they're anxious, if they're depressed. They'll tell you all that. And that's how we all need to walk around in this world, right? Like a 5-year-old. Now, I can act like a 5-year-old sometimes, but we really need to do that. Where did that break off come at sometimes in our life where we chose to stuff those feelings down as we became an adult? So there's this you've heard like the saying that you are what you eat, which is true. But you are also what you think. You are also what you watch. You're also what you listen to. You are also who you surround yourself with. We speak roughly 125 words per minute. We think roughly 1,250 words per minute. So man, think about that. That's literally tens of thousands of times a day that you're talking to yourself. And what are you telling yourself? Are they good things? Are they negative things? And who you are today and where you are today is a direct result of, this doesn't happen overnight, right? It's a direct result of what you have thought the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And whether you know it consciously or subconsciously, that's how you are choosing to operate in the world, is because of your belief systems. And it's because of a lack of being able to be yourself or being authentic. I have some friends that I surround myself with, and I feel like they're pretty authentic people. And man, I envy that, because there's an old saying that I like old sayings and I like quotes, that if you are yourself, not everybody will like you, but the right ones will love you. Man, that's so true, right? And one of the odd things about somebody being authentic or real with me, there's never been a time when somebody has like really been real with me or authentic with me that I've ever want to go, oh my gosh, man, that was weird, or get away from me. Or if anything else, man, it's drawn me closer to them. It's made me love them more. It's made me be more sympathetic. It's made me be more empathetic. It's made me be more patient. It just humbles me, and it draws me near to them because they're actually sharing their life with me. And I think that's something that we all need to practice. So I like to, in these episodes, I like to make myself think, and I also like to make others think, right? And so these are 3 things that I want you to ask yourself over the next couple days, week, whatever, whenever it pops in your mind, is how is it in this world that you are not being your authentic or your real self? Second question is, why is it that you're not allowing yourself to be the way that you should be? To be that authentic self, to be that real self. And be honest about your fears, right? You don't have to say it in front of anybody if you don't want, but I would encourage you to. And then the third question is, what can you change to be more authentic, and who can you change that with? I love being there for all of my friends. I love it when people call me. I got a lot of friends who call me for advice, but I absolutely hate reaching out and asking for help and being real with somebody else. I do that sometimes, and there's a few people I do that with. Heck, I even hide some of that stuff from my wife, because in men especially, it's acceptable to be happy or to be angry. It's not acceptable to be sad. It's not acceptable to be depressed. It's not acceptable to be anxious, because you got to be tough, right? And I operate in that world. I expect toughness from myself, and then I work in a type A environment at the firehouse. So it's really hard to be yourself and to be authentic, but I think it is absolutely, positively imperative that we do, because the more that we stuff things, it's great for everybody else, right? Because you're hiding your emotions for them. But it's bad on you, because that means that you are eating those emotions. And over time, I've always said I got a long fuse, but at the end of that fuse is an atom bomb. And it's just because I hold it in, and then it's over. And then it takes me a while to calm down after I get mad. But man, that could all be prevented if we would just be our real selves, be authentic. Because if you address something, I forget the guy's name now, but he said, if you've got something to say that is bothering you enough to affect your life and you don't say it, that's on you, right? All right. So I always want to leave you with a Bible verse if I can. The last episode I didn't because it was all about God, but this episode I'm going to. And this particular one comes from Philippians 1:6. And this is a verse about God's promise. Sorry, my notes are going crazy with this wind out here. This is a verse about God's promise to finish the work that he started in you, and that he will remedy everything that is, quote, unquote, wrong about you. Philippians 1:6. He has called you worthy. You are worthy. We must become confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Thank you for joining me today. Love you all. Go out and be someone's hope and love today.